This is a bad football team right now. This is this is similar to maybe what we saw last year with the Minnesota Vikings, where the Minnesota Vikings won a lot of close games, which the Eagles have done this year. But the Minnesota Vikings, we knew, weren't a good football team. This team is trending towards becoming the Minnesota Vikings from last year. The Minnesota, again, they won a lot of games, but they won it close. And this Eagles team won a lot of games, but they won them close, and they're not blowing people out. We keep saying this team can play a complete game. We keep asking for a complete game, and we don't get it. It just doesn't happen. And the reality is sometimes you are who you are. And the Eagles, who they are, just might be who they are. They just might be a team that don't play complete games. That's just who they are. And so that is the reality of the situation when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. They have all the makings of a first-round exit, all the makings of a team that's going to leave and go out in the first round. That's just the reality of the situation when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. Not a good football team. Not a good football team. And here's also the reality. Last year, 2022, a lot of things broke right. Injuries. They were very healthy last year in 2022. They had a little bit more. They had more talent last year in 2022. What they had in 2022 was great. They had a complete football team from top to bottom. Jalen Hurts did not turn the football over. Any only turnover he had today was that Hail Mary. But he did a great job last year. Defensively, they were much better than a year ago. They had 70 sacks last year. I mean, 70 sacks. They got 40 sacks this year, 70 sacks. You saw they got no pressure on Kyler Murray throughout this particular game. This is a frustrating game, and the way it ended is frustrating. The way this season is going is frustrating. And we talk about a standard, and we got to play to a standard, and this team is not playing to a standard. But maybe this just is the standard. Whatever they play at, maybe that is the standard. This is not a good football team. And maybe the standard is what the standard is. Maybe this team is just not good, right? Just maybe they're just not good. And so the Eagles now, I mean, they can't win the number one seed, but they can still win a division, and we'll see how that shakes out. I mean, obviously, they need the Cowboys to lose to the Commanders next week, which seems unlikely. I mean, it seems like it's over. It just seems like this is the end of the season. I know there's the playoffs. I know it. But it seems like it's over. It seems like it's done. It seems like it's a done deal. It seems like, I mean, the play calling is questionable. This is Nick Sirianni's offense. Brian Johnson's calling the plays. It's questionable. It's just, I mean, that last sequence there. Let's look at that last sequence there where the Eagles had the ball, where you had a draw, a short pass. I mean, that was conservative. That didn't make any sense. You got A.J. Brown. You got Devontae Smith. You got Julio Jones, who had 2 touchdowns today. So you have all those guys, all those weapons, Dallas Goedert. You got all those weapons, and you're Jalen Hurts is running quarterback draws, and we're running running back screens and things of that nature. Why? So conservative in that spot. And maybe it just doesn't matter. And that could be also the reality of the situation. It doesn't matter with this team. It's just not a good football team. 11 wins is 11 wins, and that's hard to do in the NFL. But this is not a good football team. That's just maybe what it is. This is not a good team. And I think we have to call it what it is. This is not a good football team. I mean, Giants gave you a tough game. Giants stink. The Cardinals beat you. They stink. I mean, this is not a good football. They got blown out by the 49ers and Cowboys. I mean, maybe this team is who they are. They're not going to play a complete game. They're not going to stop you on defense. It just doesn't matter who is calling the defense. It doesn't matter. And here's the thing. Coming into this season, 2 new coordinators, Brian Johnson, Sean Desai, now Matt Patricia. I mean, that's hard to replace, but that's what happens when you have success. That's what happened when you have success. When you have that level of success in 2022, you're going to lose your coordinators. Guys are going to become coaches, head coaches in this league. So that's just the reality of the situation when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts has had some issues with turnovers, tied with Josh Allen for most turnovers in this league. It's just not a good recipe for the Eagles this season. It was never a good recipe. And now the reality of it is it's over. As far as I'm concerned, it just feels like it's over.